It's now about day 26, I think, of the Stop the Diabetic Insanity journey. It's been, well, starting from tomorrow, it's been a full month since I started this journey on this camera. And I have to say, it's been really enlightening. I think about this concept of time and how, everyone's on this pressure cooker of time, to get somewhere or be something. And it's really funny because since I started this journey, it's like time's really stopped for me. And it stopped for this journey. And it's almost like time doesn't actually really matter anymore. It's about the lessons I'm learning. And, and something like this, people often, with goal setting and things like that, people often set goals according to a timeline so they know they're making progress. And that's a fair enough method of measuring success. However, I found on this journey, I've actually measured success through how successfully I've overcome my obstacles and how successfully I've overcome my thoughts. And that's the biggest battlefield, as well as the hardened habits I've mentioned before. So, if I'm going to take anything away from what I've learned in the last, say, 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, it's that you can't always believe what you think, because as soon as you believe what you think, you're going to take an action that goes against you, and then you're going to regret it. So that's number one. Number two, I don't think that your emotions are exactly accurate when they first come up. So whether that's feeling hungry or feeling angry or feeling upset or feeling frustrated or feeling lonely or whatever emotion it is, um, there's always something lying underneath it that's the greater cause. And to overcome something as big as weight, you really have to look behind the reasons why you do certain things, why you feel certain things. Now, for a long time, you know, um, as I mentioned before, I had some very bad eating habits, but the eating habits didn't just stand alone. They were alongside my latent feelings of frustration about my life, and what was lying underneath it all was my inability to act, and that manifested itself in eating and gaining weight, because that was my cop out to not act upon my life because I didn't want to feel like a failure. And now I don't have that fear anymore. So my tendency to go out and gorge on food isn't quite there anymore. Sometimes it's still there lying in the background when I'm procrastinating or feeling a bit bored or a little bit restless. It's there. But then I always remind myself I can always make another choice. I can actually most certainly feel something different in the moment. And that's what's really changed for me. Is like I don't have that tendency to turn to food every time there's a gap. Every time there's a moment where my emotions are unclear, or even when my emotions are really there, quite clear, and I still turn to food. Um, I don't find that's my choice anymore. I choose different things to do. So thankfully, I've found my creative outlet, and that's through this blog, through my writing, through finding other creative people. Um, yeah, I've overcome some of those habits, and some of my chronic, destructive, toxic thinking habits as well. I've overcome some of those. So that's really the toughest obstacles, really, to this journey. And then all the rest comes, following the diet, uh, not feeling like exercise is a burden, actually going out and going for a walk or doing some yoga or eating something healthy. Those things come easily now, whereas before they were really quite burdensome. Almost like it was, too far out of reach for me. And now I know nothing's out of reach. So there you go. Almost 4 weeks on the journey, and it's going really well. Um, Tomorrow will be the 4 week anniversary of when I started this blog, and yeah, I'm looking forward to doing my next video then. Talk to you then.